What if the reason she can't stop thinking about someone has nothing to do with looks, money, or flashy gestures? What if the real secret is something almost every man overlooks? Imagine ending a conversation, walking away, and somehow staying in her thoughts for hours or even days without sending another message. Sounds impossible? It's actually rooted in human psychology, and today you're going to learn exactly how it works. The biggest mistake most men make is believing that constant attention creates attraction. They text too much, try too hard to impress, and unknowingly push her away. Meanwhile, the men who leave the strongest impression often do something completely different. They create emotions, curiosity, and a sense of connection that naturally lingers in her mind. In this video, we'll uncover the subtle habits and psychological principles that make you memorable in a healthy and authentic way. These are not manipulation tricks or mind games. Instead, they're timeless behaviors that build genuine attraction, confidence, and emotional impact. Make sure you stay until the very end because the final strategy is one of the most powerful, and it's the one that separates men who are quickly forgotten from those who become unforgettable. If you're ready to become someone she naturally thinks about long after you've gone, let's get started. Attraction doesn't begin the moment someone sees you. It begins the moment you make them feel something worth remembering. While physical appearance might catch a person's attention for a few seconds, emotions are what keep that attention alive long after you've left. That's why two people can meet the same woman, yet only one stays in her thoughts. The difference isn't always appearance. It's the emotional experience he creates. Think about the conversations you remember most. Chances are they weren't filled with perfect words. They made you laugh, challenged your perspective, or left you curious. The same principle applies to attraction. When every interaction feels predictable, the mind quickly moves on. But when someone feels understood, inspired, or pleasantly surprised, the brain naturally revisits that experience. This is because our minds are wired to replay moments that carry emotional meaning. Confidence, authenticity, humor, and genuine interest create positive emotional memories that continue to grow even after the conversation ends. That's why trying to impress someone with rehearsed lines or pretending to be someone you're not usually falls flat. It may attract attention for a moment, but it rarely creates a lasting impression. The goal isn't to make her think about you every minute. The goal is to make every interaction meaningful enough that remembering you happens naturally. When you focus on creating positive emotions instead of chasing validation, attraction shifts from something forced into something that develops on its own. That's where real, lasting connection begins. One of the most attractive qualities you can develop isn't perfect looks or the perfect pickup line. It's genuine confidence. But real confidence isn't about acting louder than everyone else or pretending you have everything figured out. It's the quiet belief that your value doesn't depend on someone else's approval. When you stop seeking constant reassurance, people naturally become more curious about you. Many men make the mistake of measuring their worth by how quickly she replies, how often she compliments them, or whether she gives them attention every day. That mindset hands over your emotional control to someone else. Truly confident people don't panic over delayed messages or small setbacks. They remain calm, focused, and secure because they know one person's opinion doesn't define who they are. Confidence also shows up in the smallest behaviors. You speak with purpose instead of rushing your words. You listen carefully instead of trying to impress. You express your opinions respectfully without changing them just to be liked. These subtle actions communicate strength far more effectively than showing off or constantly trying to prove yourself. The best part is that confidence grows through action, not waiting. Keep promises to yourself, learn new skills, improve your health, and challenge yourself regularly. Every small victory strengthens your self-belief. When your confidence comes from the life you're building rather than the attention you're receiving, people notice the difference. That quiet certainty is memorable because it's rare, authentic, and impossible to fake. And that's exactly the kind of energy that stays on someone's mind long after you've walked away. If you want to stay on her mind long after the conversation ends, don't focus on being the most impressive person she meets. Focus on being the person she feels most comfortable being herself around. Emotional connection isn't created through perfect words or expensive dates. It's built in those small moments when someone feels genuinely seen, heard, and understood. Instead of thinking about what clever thing to say next, become curious about her world. Ask thoughtful questions that invite real conversations rather than one-word answers. Listen without interrupting or immediately turning the conversation back to yourself. When she shares a story, pay attention to the emotions behind it, not just the facts. People naturally remember those who make them feel important without making it seem like an interview. At the same time, don't be afraid to reveal parts of your own personality. Share your passions, your goals, the lessons you've learned, and even the challenges that helped shape you. Authenticity creates trust because it shows you're comfortable being real instead of trying to appear perfect. A genuine connection grows when both people feel safe enough to be honest. Another powerful habit is making every interaction leave a positive emotional impact. Make her laugh, encourage her dreams, celebrate her successes, or simply bring calm and positive energy into the conversation. Those emotions become attached to your presence. Over time, she won't just remember what you talked about, she'll remember how she felt when she was with you. And those feelings are often what keep someone thinking about another person long after the conversation is over. That's the difference between being noticed for a moment and being remembered for a long time. One of the biggest myths about attraction is that you need to reveal everything about yourself as quickly as possible. In reality, people are naturally drawn to what they haven't fully discovered yet. Mystery isn't about being secretive, playing games, or pretending to be unavailable. It's about allowing your personality to unfold naturally, instead of putting your entire life on display in the first few conversations. Think about your favorite movie or book. If someone told you every twist before you watched it, the excitement would disappear. Human curiosity works the same way. When every detail about you is immediately available, there's very little left for the imagination. But when each conversation reveals something new, your passions, your experiences, your ambitions, she has a reason to look forward to learning more. Another important part of mystery is having a fulfilling life outside the relationship. Continue investing in your goals, friendships, hobbies, and personal growth. When your happiness doesn't revolve around one person, you naturally become more interesting. It shows that your life has purpose and direction, qualities that are often far more attractive than constantly seeking attention. Mystery also means resisting the urge to explain every action or seek constant reassurance. You don't have to respond instantly to every message or narrate every moment of your day. Instead, let your actions speak for themselves. When she sees that you're confident, emotionally balanced, and genuinely enjoying your own journey, she'll become naturally curious about what makes you different. Remember, the goal isn't to create confusion, it's to create curiosity. Curiosity keeps conversations alive, encourages deeper connection, and gives her a reason to think about you even when you're not around. The most unforgettable people aren't the ones who reveal everything at once. They're the ones whose story is worth discovering one chapter at a time. Here's a truth that many people learn the hard way. The more desperately you chase someone's attention, the less valuable your attention often appears. Attraction isn't built by constantly trying to prove your worth. It's built by knowing your worth before anyone else confirms it. When your happiness depends on whether she texts back immediately or notices everything you do, you unknowingly give away your confidence. Imagine two different people. One sends multiple messages if there's no quick reply, constantly seeks compliments, and worries about every interaction. The other enjoys the conversation, responds with genuine interest, and then returns to living a meaningful life. Which one seems more emotionally secure? Most people are naturally drawn to those who are calm, balanced, and comfortable without constant validation. This doesn't mean you should ignore her or pretend not to care. Healthy attraction is never about playing games or creating unnecessary distance. Instead, it's about respecting both her space and your own. Give conversations room to breathe. Let her miss your presence instead of making yourself available every second of the day. The strongest relationships are built between two people who each have fulfilling lives. Keep pursuing your career, improving your health, spending time with friends, and working toward personal goals. When your life is full of purpose, your attention becomes something meaningful rather than something you give away freely. Ironically, the moment you stop chasing attention is often the moment your presence becomes more noticeable. People remember those who bring confidence, positivity, and peace, not those who constantly seek reassurance. Focus on becoming becoming someone whose value comes from within, and you'll naturally leave a stronger, more lasting impression. If your main goal is to make someone think about you, here's the surprising truth. Stop making them the center of your world and start becoming the best version of yourself. The most attractive people aren't obsessed with being admired. They're committed to growing every single day. When you invest in yourself, confidence becomes natural, conversations become more interesting, and your presence becomes far more memorable. Self-improvement isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. Read books that expand your thinking, learn skills that challenge you, take care of your physical health, and build habits that strengthen your discipline. Every step you take toward personal growth adds depth to your character, and depth is something people remember. Your mindset matters just as much as your appearance. Instead of asking, "How can I make her like me?" start asking, "How can I become someone I'm proud to be?" That small shift changes everything. You stop seeking approval and begin creating a life filled with purpose, ambition, and self-respect. Ironically, that's when others begin noticing you more. Another benefit of self-improvement is that it gives you stories, experiences, and perspectives worth sharing. Whether you're learning a new language, training for a fitness goal, starting a business, or exploring a creative hobby, your life becomes richer. People are naturally drawn to those who are passionate about something beyond relationships. Remember, attraction may open a door, but personal growth keeps it open. When she sees someone who is constantly evolving, staying positive through challenges, and building a meaningful future, she'll recognize qualities that are rare in today's world. Become the person who inspires others through actions, not promises. Because at the end of the day, the greatest investment you will ever make isn't in winning someone's attention. It's in becoming someone whose value continues to grow, with or without anyone's approval. The words you choose matter, but the way you make someone feel while speaking matters even more. Memorable communication isn't about having the perfect jokes, clever pickup lines, or rehearsed speeches. It's about creating conversations that feel genuine, engaging, and emotionally meaningful. People may forget the exact sentences you said, but they rarely forget how your presence made them feel. One powerful habit is to be fully present during every conversation. Put away distractions, maintain natural eye contact, and truly listen instead of simply waiting for your turn to speak. When someone feels that they have your complete attention, they automatically feel more valued. In today's world, where so many conversations are rushed or interrupted, genuine attention has become surprisingly rare. Another way to leave a lasting impression is through thoughtful questions. Instead of asking predictable questions that lead to short answers, invite stories and emotions. Ask about experiences that shaped her, dreams she hopes to achieve, or moments that made her laugh the hardest. These conversations create emotional depth and help both of you connect beyond surface-level topics. At the same time, don't be afraid to share your own experiences with honesty and confidence. Talk about your passions, lessons you've learned, or goals you're working toward without trying to impress anyone. Authenticity creates trust because it shows you're comfortable being yourself rather than performing for approval. Finally, end conversations on a positive note. Leave her smiling, inspired, or thinking about an interesting idea instead of dragging the conversation on until it loses its energy. Sometimes the most memorable conversations are the ones that end while both people are still enjoying them. When every interaction leaves behind positive emotions, curiosity, and genuine connection, your words continue echoing in her mind long after the conversation has ended. What separates someone who is quickly forgotten from someone who stays in another person's mind for weeks, months, or even years? It's rarely one grand romantic gesture. More often, it's the small, consistent habits that quietly shape how people experience you. Being unforgettable isn't about trying to stand out every second. It's about being consistently authentic in ways that leave a positive emotional impact. Start with reliability. If you say you'll do something, follow through. Keeping your word builds trust, and trust creates respect. In a world where many people make promises they never keep, being dependable immediately sets you apart. Next, practice kindness without expecting anything in return. Be respectful to everyone, not just the person you're interested in. The way you treat waiters, coworkers, friends, and even strangers reveals your true character. Genuine kindness is remembered because it's rooted in who you are, not in what you hope to gain. Another unforgettable habit is maintaining a positive attitude during difficult moments. Life brings challenges to everyone, but people naturally admire those who remain calm, optimistic, and solution-focused instead of complaining about every obstacle. Emotional stability makes others feel safe around you. Never stop growing. Continue learning new skills, exploring new experiences, and setting meaningful goals. A person with curiosity and ambition always has fresh stories, new perspectives, and inspiring energy to share. Growth keeps your personality dynamic instead of predictable. Finally, make people feel better after spending time with you. Offer encouragement, celebrate their achievements, remember small details they've shared, and make them feel appreciated. Long after they forget specific conversations, they'll remember the confidence, comfort, and positivity they felt in your presence. Those simple daily habits, not flashy performances, are what make someone truly unforgettable. Sometimes, the biggest obstacle to building attraction isn't what you fail to do, it's the habits you need to stop doing. Many people unintentionally push others away because they're trying too hard to create a connection. The first mistake is pretending to be someone you're not. Acting tougher, richer, funnier, or more successful than you really are might gain temporary attention, but genuine relationships can only grow from authenticity. Sooner or later, the real you always shows up. Another common mistake is making one person the center of your entire life. When every decision revolves around getting someone's attention, you lose the confidence and independence that made you attractive in the first place. Healthy attraction grows between two people who both have meaningful lives, goals, and interests outside the relationship. Avoid over-communicating just to keep the conversation alive. Constant texting, double messages, or feeling pressured to reply instantly can make interactions feel forced instead of enjoyable. Give conversations space to breathe. Quality communication will always leave a stronger impression than endless communication. Jealousy and insecurity can also quietly damage attraction. Constantly questioning who she's talking to, seeking reassurance, or comparing yourself to others creates unnecessary tension. Real confidence comes from trusting your own value rather than competing for attention. Finally, don't expect instant results. Genuine attraction and emotional connection take time to develop. Trying to rush the process often creates pressure instead of excitement. Focus on becoming someone who consistently brings honesty, confidence, respect, and positivity into every interaction. When you avoid these common mistakes and let relationships develop naturally, you'll create a far stronger and more lasting impression than any shortcut or trick ever could. As we wrap up, remember one important idea. The goal isn't to make someone obsessed with you. The goal is to become someone whose presence naturally leaves a positive, lasting impression. Real attraction isn't built through manipulation, mind games, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's built through confidence, emotional maturity, genuine communication, and a life filled with purpose. Think back to everything we've covered today. Attraction begins in the mind. Confidence grows from self-respect. Emotional connection creates unforgettable moments. Mystery sparks curiosity. And self-improvement makes you more valuable every single day. None of these habits require you to change who you are. They simply encourage you to become a stronger, more authentic version of yourself. Now it's time to take action. Instead of trying to apply every tip at once, choose just one habit from this video and practice it consistently over the next week. Maybe it's listening more carefully, focusing on your personal goals, communicating with greater confidence, or giving people the space to appreciate your presence. Small, consistent improvements always create bigger results than dramatic changes that don't last. Most importantly, remember that the right person won't be impressed by a performance. They'll appreciate the real you. When you build a life you're proud of, relationships become something that adds happiness to your journey rather than defining it. If you found value in today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. And in the comments below, tell us, which tip do you think is the most powerful, and which one are you going to start practicing today? Your answer might inspire someone else to take that first step toward becoming the best version of themselves. Until next time, keep growing, stay confident, and remember, The strongest attraction always begins with becoming someone you truly respect.